Hello again, whiskey friends. This is Kelsey here in the Whiskey Riffs Lounge, bringing you some new reviews. Today we've got an exciting one. I don't think anybody has actually reviewed this yet, so I'm kind of excited, hopefully, to be the first one to drop it. But this is going to be Stagg Batch 23A. I don't know if you see that, but we're going to jump right into this one. I'm excited to review this one, and then I'll go back and do another video with 22A and B and 23A and see how they all stack up. So stick around for this one. This is going to be fun. Cheers, everybody. Welcome back. It is time for some more Stagg. So around here, I don't know about you guys, I'm actually able, at least the last 2 or 3 batches at least, to find this for retail. So I feel blessed. But this one just dropped this week. So 23A, I haven't seen out and about as far as reviews go. So I wanted to kind of give you my first impressions and thoughts and score this thing according to our scoring system. See how it pans out. And then next week, I'm hoping to have a video up of the 22A and B versus the 23A. And then I might actually put in a fourth, which is the regular 12, which is my all-time favorite. I know Jason just did a comparison of some of these, but I wanted to see how 23 kind of stacked up. So let's get into this thing, man. Cheers. Thanks you guys so much for hanging out. Hit the like and subscribe and all that good stuff to help us grow the channel. We appreciate it. Let's jump into this nose. Oh, man. This is good off the nose so far. You guys know I love turkey and I love Stagg just as much as I love turkey. This is the one bottle that I really like chase after every year to get. So right up front, you get grape bubblegum and cherry. I mean, this just like that grapey Buffalo Trace note that you get sometimes with cherry and then some brown sugar. I mean, right off the first punch there. It's not over ethanol-y on the nose. I mean, it's 130.2. So the proof is up there, but it doesn't come across proofy even when you drink it. So, yeah, it's really well balanced. I think one of the things Jason asked me was, you know, is it balanced? Is it oaky? Up front on the nose, man, it's really sweet. It's got a cherry. It's got grape. It's got a little bit of oak on the nose. It's not over oaked on the nose. It doesn't come across real young or old. It's kind of like straight down the middle. So let's get into this thing. I've been waiting to taste it. So for you guys that have been to Buffalo Trace or had the option to go, please go and do their Rickhouse tour. Any of their tours are great. But what I can say about this is that this tastes like what their Rickhouse smells like. On a lot of their stuff, I've been there one time and I literally was just bombarded by this particular smell, which is like a sweet oak. This starts out sweet up front with the cherry and the grape and then just goes to a real sweet oak finish on the first sip. Let's go back in and let's see what else we can get on this. Okay, this is something I do. If you guys don't do it, try it, see what you think. After tasting it, always go back to the nose. One of the things that I was able to pick up this time was a little bit more of the brown sugar and maybe just a little bit, not like a huge amount, but of that oak is more present this time after first drinking it. It comes out a little bit more out of the glass. So let's go in for a sip 2 for mid palate and let's see where this thing lands. So mid palate stays pretty consistent with what's going on up front. Sweet. Now we'll say towards the back of the mid palate, it kind of spreads across the back of your tongue, and then you get more oak influence on the second sip. and especially in the mid palate itself. With it being 130, I would say it drinks probably 120, something like that. It's not overly hot by any means. For me, this is the first thing I've drank today too. So yeah, everything's staying pretty consistent on the nose. Nothing has changed really from first to second sip. Let's get down to the third sip. Okay. So on the third sip, your tongue gets a little bit more acclimated. Some of that sweetness dissipates a little bit up front, but it transitions to a darker, deeper oak note towards mid and back palate. I will say some more of the spice or the heat of the proof comes a little bit more also on the third sip. But I will say this is a lot better than 22B for me. That was the one that I got a few weeks ago and was pretty disappointed with it because I had such high expectations for. But this one's more in line with what I expect Stagg to be. Now, I will also compare this to 22A, which I am about to get and do a review on next week, hopefully, and see how it stacks up, because I know that's been highly touted as the one that's been closest to batch 12. So that was my favorite batch. I think it's Jason's favorite batch from Mash and Drum. So overall, guys, let's look at how this thing landed on the scorecard. If you're new to the channel, basically we break this down. Everything's kind of weighted on flavor, experience, and value. Now, on the value side of things, I will say, excuse me, that I did score this based on retail because that's what I got it for. So our flavor score was pretty high, 88, which is just the overall flavor experience and score. And then the experience score as a whole was an 84. And then the value score was pretty high for me. I feel like, you know, so I know some of you say, well, I'll never find this for retail. It's out there. You do have to build some relationships in order to try to find this thing. But I will say, you know, I would be willing to pay up to $150 or maybe a little bit more on this particular batch. It's very good. Highly recommend it. Do I plan to find another one? To buy another one if I find it? Yes, absolutely. So overall, guys, really, really good score for this one. I'll be interested to see how it stacks up against 22A and batch 12. Now, this was a fresh crack, so I'm going to let this get a little bit more air before I do all three of those. But overall, guys, if you see this thing out, if you see it on secondary and you're wondering, should I, shouldn't I? That's up to you guys. Like I always tell you, it's what you're willing to pay for it. Some bottles you might be more willing to pay higher than I would be because it's that bottle for you. This is that bottle for me. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you hanging in there and continue to support us. Cheers to you all. And I'll leave you with one of my favorite theme songs from David at whiskeychannel.com. Cheers, everybody.
Jeff, just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say